हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल जस्ट कोडेड विद सार्थक। आज बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट आने वाले चैनल पे सौम्या अग्रवाल। शी इज़ वर्किंग एज एन यूएक्स डिज़ाइनर एट ओरेकल एंड आज की वीडियो इज़ मोर अबाउट यूएक्स एंड यूजर एक्सपीरियंस, यूजर इंटरफेस। हम जानेंगे व्हाट इज़ यूएक्स डिज़ाइनर, लाइक व्हाट आर द जॉब्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़, how you can become a UX designer, what does the typical interview process looks like, and all such things in detail. We will also get to know what are the right resources, or what was the path she followed, how she from a front end developer she became a UX designer, and what are her projects up to date. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. So, yeah, hello everyone. Today we have a very special guest with us, Saumya. She is a UX expert with us. She has done various jobs in the field of UX designing and everything. We will be discussing and deep dive into what is UX, what is UI, and what should you look out for if you want to move into this stream. So over to you, Saumya. Can you share about little bit about yourself and your past story?
Hi, sure. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. And as you rightly introduced me, so my name is Saumya Agarwal, and I am a UX expert, basically a certified usability analyst. I started my journey 6 years back as a UX designer. I had joined Cognizant as a front end developer, but I was always inclined towards design and my persistence and my passion towards UX finally brought me to the field, and that was one of the best decisions of my life. Um, I learned a lot. I worked with Cognizant for a very long time. Worked on different projects or different kind of fields like banking, finance, advertising in media,
Mm-hmm.
and automobile. So it was very different because it was service based company. So we had a lot of different opportunities to work on. And that time UX was actually evolving. People were realizing what UX is, its importance. I learned a lot there. Then right now I'm working with Oracle as
Mm-hmm.
a user experience designer, and I work for NetSuite. NetSuite is the product I work for.
Okay.
And again, a great experience, great learning, great work, a great place to work.
Mm-hmm.
And in my free time, I like to help anyone who wants to learn UX, basically on my weekends,
Mm-hmm.
because I had no one to guide me. So I love to guide anyone and help anyone in this field. UX is something very, you have a very I have a very emotional connection with it, because it really needs a lot of empathy, to be a
Mm-hmm.
very good UX designer. Plus it really evinces how important emotional intelligence is. People
Right.
talk about IQ all the time,
Mm-hmm.
that is how intelligent someone is, but how emotionally intelligent is someone is really important, especially when you're living in a world full of humans, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's it. And there's this little achievement that I also would like to mention, that I was selected as the ambassador from India to help. So there's this firm called Digital Influx in London. They have started teaching UX. They have introduced UX for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I am so happy to be a part of it. So they have chosen me as the ambassador from India
Mm-hmm.
to help to know this to to introduce this UX in schools in India.
Okay.
So that was a great opportunity I've got, and yeah, I'd like to mention that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
awesome. Yeah, that's a wonderful story. So, as I get it, you have been into UX for so long, and you have been part with multiple domains, so you have that expertise in different areas. Before deep diving into uh, like for audience out there, if you can explain what is UX per se, or what is UI, what is design, and if you can deep dive into that.
Sure. So UX is an experience that we are designing. Even right now, what we are having is an experience. You're talking to me. You scheduled this time. You got in touch with me, and you there was an experience involved. And now, right now, also we are experiencing something. And after this, people will learn something from it. So everything from the beginning till the end will be an experience. Now, here you are the designer. You have designed this event, and you've kept the audience in mind. So audience are the users who are going to listen to us. So similarly, any product that we use, any product, even a laptop, even the Zoom platform, it has been designed keeping in mind who is going to use this product. So user experience design is a very user centered approach to design products, because if you will keep in mind the user, your product will definitely be successful. I mean, at least close to successful, if not just perfect for the users. That is a small understanding about user experience design that I want to share. And a lot of times people get confused between UI and UX. So UI is a part of UX, a very important part of UX. UI is how the product looks, how Zoom appears to us, how right now we are able to interact. The look and feel of a product is what UI is. So there are basically four important parts of UX design. One is navigation, second is content, third is presentation, and fourth is interaction. All these four things are very important for a digital product specifically, to have a great experience, to really think about these things. So that is basically what UI and UX is. Even an architect, is
Hmm.
is a kind of an experience designer, because they are creating homes for people, considering the
Right.
space. They have this space. In this space they have to create, they have certain requirements
Hmm.
from the client, and on the basis of that they are creating a home. So
Hmm.
they are also kind of an experience that they're creating experiences for people who are going to
Right.
live in that home forever. It's their dream house that they're creating.
Right.
So if that helps people understand, I'd like to give that example.
Yeah, I think it totally makes sense. Even I was not actually aware of UX and UI in my college days, and it helps to give you like these small examples make more sense now. And
Right.
I think people will be able to differentiate between what you see is basically UI, but the experiences you get while making some choices, making some interaction with the design, like this is part of user experience. Cool. So, uh, since you have been in this field, but what was that turning point for you? You have been to software development first, or like you were a front-end developer. What was that turning point that made you towards UX, or what was that intriguing thing about UX that made you choose that?
Right. So I always wanted to be an architect actually.
Okay.
So in my college, whenever I used to cross the architecture building, my heart used to be like, this is the place where I wanted to be. Anyhow, I did my computer science engineering. I got honors in my engineering. Okay, got a job. But I was not happy inside. Every day in the morning when I used to get up, I used to feel uh, you know, I had to do a lot of hard work to get there. It was not coming naturally. Every day I used to feel, okay, I am stuck here. I'll ask this, I'll ask that. I was not confident in what I was doing. So while I used to code, I used to, every time when you code, you put a colon in a bracket. So whenever I used to put that, I used to see a sad smiley there, colon in a bracket like that, close bracket. And it just that really pushed me hard to think that, okay, you can do this, you can achieve things in this. I mean, you can, of course, if you work hard, you can do anything, right? So I learned Python, like, I was so good at it, everything was good, but then I was not happy and I was not confident. Basically, if someone would ask someday that, how do you do this, I will take some time. I might not feel confident answering it even if I know the right answer. So in my free time, I used to explore design. Fortunately, the design team in Cognizant used to sit very close to where I used to sit, and I spent a lot of time with them whenever I had free time. And on weekends I explored, I learned wherever. That time UX courses were not there, so I explored whatever was available and I started learning it on weekends. So 4 months I took a formal training. Anywhere any workshop used to happen, I used to go and attend it. Anything I related to UX design, I used to go and attend it. That is how I realized, and the empathy part of it is where I felt is where I belong, and it comes naturally to me. So I feel confident. If someone asks me about UX, I had started feeling confident, and that was a turning point where I felt this is what I want to do.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. And I think kudos to your hustle so that you were able to realize that at a point that UX is something that you're feeling more connected with, and it makes more sense to pursue in that direction. But I can definitely see like 6 years, 7 years back, there were not as many resources or as like opportunities in that time. So like what were the things that you did at a time? Like I think one of those things were workshops, but what were the else you did? And also coming to the current scenarios, well, what I see YouTube as the biggest platform to get the resources, but any other specific resources or channels, or if you can guide in the direction, what should be the beginner point of in this journey to become a UX designer?
So frankly speaking, if I had the option, I would have gone for masters. I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to go for masters because I feel a formal training is important for a guidance and confidence.
Okay.
You can learn yourself, no doubt about it. There is everything on the internet, but
Mm-hmm.
what to follow, what not to follow at what time, of your life is important, right? You
Right.
cannot learn something which we learn in class 12 and class 1.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is available. A class 1 child can read things that are that a class 12 child would learn, but
Mm-hmm.
are we ready for that knowledge at that point of time? Do we really need that knowledge at that point of time? So a proper
Mm-hmm.
guidance, a formal training really helps you that, okay, this is the kind of knowledge that you need as a beginner and then maybe as an expert.
Right.
I always wanted to do masters, but there were circumstances in which I couldn't leave. I didn't want to leave my job also because I really wanted to do everything myself, and a lot of us want to do that. We don't
Right.
want, but after we have completed our graduation, we would not want to really ask our parents to help us ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to be independent. So I
Correct.
really wanted to do things keeping in mind all the responsibilities. So I thought, okay, masters is not possible. So are there any courses? So
Mm-hmm.
frankly speaking, when I Googled, I just saw two courses. One was HFI, which is a very old certification, Human
Mm-hmm.
Factors International. Human Factors International is the company, and they give you certified usability analyst training, and they
Mm-hmm.
also have certified experience design program. That was one, and second was Imagine XP, which had, I think, just started. It had been just a year or something that it had started.
Okay.
So of course, when you have to go for the certification, you'll be like, how, kiski kya value hai, certificate ki kya value hai, is it important, should I go for it? And the amount it has, you feel reluctant. You just freshly graduated, you are taking
Mm-hmm.
your own decisions, so you'll be a little reluctant. So
Right.
HFI I know would be good, but then I don't know if I was ready for it that time. When I talked to people, they said, you should have some experience in UX, only then go for it. Don't go for it right now, it's very tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. So I thought, okay, and plus the cost was also a little more than what my budget was that time to
Okay.
spend my learnings. So the most safe option I found was, okay, let's go for a course at
Mm-hmm.
Imagine XP. And I enrolled for the course after a lot of research and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I somehow knew the person who's started Imagine XP through
Mm-hmm.
college. My dean sir is actually the director there. So all my doubts got clear. I was like, okay, it's not something fake, it's something very genuine. Just
Mm-hmm.
started, but it's okay. At least they'll be giving me a learning which will be very formal, and they'll give me a structure to the
Okay.
process I need to follow. I started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Simultaneously, I started talking to my managers that there's this time initially when you join an IT company that sometimes you're on bench for like
Mm-hmm.
you know the first project you do. There's some time you get on bench, to get into a second project. There's some time. So I
Mm-hmm.
had a 1 month of time in that transition where I had to get another project.
Okay.
And I just went and talked to my manager that I really want to explore design. I really want
Mm-hmm.
to do something better for this organization, and I think I can do it. So of
Mm-hmm.
course, companies hire people from IITs and everything, so it was not easy for them to be like, okay, you go and join. But they were very open to the fact that I want to try.
Mm-hmm.
So they were also having some Cognizant was having some trainings, UX trainings, and they said, okay, whenever you're free, you attend them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really thankful that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I attended those. And the manager, that we had in the UX team, he was just amazing. He really allowed me to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was learning that there also, and I was learning at Imagine XP also. And I don't know what's a portfolio. You know,
Okay.
they asked me in Cognizant. They were
Mm-hmm.
taking interviews, of course. If they had to take me, they would take my interview.
Right.
So I said, what do I need to do to come for the interview? What is it
Mm-hmm.
that you will see? they said, we need a portfolio. I said,
Okay.
what's a portfolio? I didn't know what's a portfolio.
Yeah.
I had heard about it, but it was not very clear. So he said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, whatever you have done, artwork, whatever you've done, your design, anything that you've done creatively, just
Mm-hmm.
compile it. And so I was
Okay.
like, okay, I just compiled all my paintings, brochures, whatever design and all I had done, I compiled it. But
Mm-hmm.
UX is not just about, those things. It's
Right.
about a lot of things which I learned at Imaginex, in that course that I was doing. It
Mm-hmm.
was a full-fledged course of 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
We did a studio project. That was a kind of portfolio that, they would want. That
Mm-hmm.
what process we follow for a problem to solve.
Okay.
That I created, then I became more confident that okay, I was like, अब तो मैं कुछ भी कर सकती हूँ. Yeah, that feeling.
Yeah,
But I really,
exactly.
yeah, I really put my heart and soul in that course. I didn't go anywhere in those 4 months. All the
Mm-hmm.
weekends I used to go for trainings, and I used to spend my all my free time in learning about UX.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube, honestly, that time internet did not have so much about UX. Only
Right.
Medium is where we would refer, and I still refer to Medium. There were some great articles over there, very
Mm-hmm.
detailed articles. So if there is a topic I want to read more about, I would just search about that topic, and then would try to link whatever I know and what they are telling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes terminologies that different people are using gets confusing.
Right.
That's why online so much is there, but to filter what's important, you need some guidance
Right.
initially. So yeah, I did that, and then I gave interviews at Cognizant. I gave some, I think, good 3-4 interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and finally they gave me the first project. But I was still not officially into the UX team. I got that project, did decent in that, and then finally I got into the UX team,
Okay.
and very happy day for me. Very
Mm-hmm.
happy. I was extremely
Definitely.
happy.
Yeah.
And then I worked for 4 years in
Mm-hmm.
different projects. Learned a lot of things. Single-handedly managed a lot of projects,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did HFI. So HFI was my
Okay.
second small-term goal. I had promised myself that once I get into UX, I'm definitely going to do HFI, because it was something that it was one of the best certifications in UX, and still is.
Okay.
So 2019, finally, I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
In every possible way, it was possible to do the. And I think I was part of the. I think one of the last offline batches. Thankfully, I did it that time, because after that it got online, and
Mm-hmm.
offline has a different experience.
Definitely. Certainly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there again, whatever I learned in these 4 years got a different kind of knowledge, different kind of training, different kind of, I just got polished with all the other concepts, the
Mm-hmm.
experience. And that was again a very good experience, and added something to my learning. And yeah,
Okay.
then I got through Oracle. I even got through Amazon, but then I had joined Oracle already. So yeah, it has been like that, and that is how I've evolved. And I mean, I keep learning, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever I learned in these 4 years, anyone who would show interest to me that I want to get into UX, I would share it with them. That way, it really helps you also remember what you have learned,
Mm-hmm.
and helps someone who wants to learn. So since
Right.
I was having no one to guide me, I had to join a course,
Mm-hmm.
and still I was a little reluctant. Who do I trust? What do I follow? I never wanted that. If I know someone who's going through the same thing, should experience
Definitely.
difficulties. So I tried my best, and I started helping. I even was invited as a speaker by IXDA, which was, I was very nervous initially
Mm-hmm.
because there were 30 people, and I was just 2 years experience, and people, they try to judge you with that you're just 2 years experience and you've
Mm-hmm.
come for a session. But it went pretty well. Everyone was really welcoming, really really nice. They really try to understand what I'm trying to share with them. I had taken a session on heuristic evaluation,
Okay.
and so there also again I learned a lot, that how can we interact, how can we share what we know about
Mm-hmm.
UX.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal story. So,
And it goes without saying that learning is constantly going on. You are still learning, whatever you're doing every day, you're learning something new. So that shows that even at any other point of view, even I'm still learning a lot of things from you right now. So that's it.
I think you have like the perfect story out there that उस टाइम पे जब इतने सारे resources नहीं थे, for you to make the best out of it, like a good buyer, you did all the good researches, what to do at what time, how to fit that perfectly in your budget, as well as get the most out of it, managing your weekends and work exactly, and also trying to explore all the options, like getting the cognizant workshops or trying for the interview internally, so that you can get a taste of UX at the company itself. So that's great. That's great. And I think most of the users are just reluctant to try something new. They are just hesitant in that direction, and I feel they should always try to keep that. There is the hustle you have to do. Uh, what was the worst case? आपको rejection आएगा, आपको मजा नहीं आएगा, पर करना चाहिए try. That's the best point. So, what would be your suggestion if you think like as a person, what would be that feeling I should get, that UX should be a good way for me, or uh, I am getting much more aligned with the UX side, or you can direct in that direction.
I always ask this question from whoever wants to learn UX. I ask them, are you doing it because it's doing great in the industry right now? Are you doing it because, like engineering, there was a time for engineering where engineering pays you well, go for engineering. Even if you're not, you don't even know. I didn't even know initially what engineering, but even at that point of time, what I did is that I went through the curriculum. What is it that they're going to teach in those, in engineering? Does it align me as a person? And somewhere it did, so I did it. Otherwise I would have never done it, never, because I just can't. You can't, right?
Right.
You're not meant for it. So same is with UX. Just go through an introduction about it, see what it is actually, and if you really resonate with it, if you really think that it comes naturally to you, you don't have to put in a lot of thought ki, oh, you don't feel like, oh my god, is this something scientific, some kind of formula? If you don't feel like that, you feel connected to it in some way. Sometimes you could be connected in terms of you are very good with research. Sometimes you might connect yourself as a very good UI designer. Sometimes you might connect yourself, even front end and back end developers somewhere, are creating an experience.
Right.
So all those things, what you feel about these different aspects of UX or UX as a whole helps you in deciding that is this for me or not. When I was deciding it, I did get doubts. Am I doing the right thing? I'm leaving, I left an engineering job, like a proper developer's job, and I switched to this. I don't know, my heart just said go for it. I can't say that for everyone, but it really pushed me. A lot of people said, why are you leaving technical? You've learned technical and you're leaving it, you're leaving this. I said, I'm not leaving anything. See, whatever you've learned will always stay with you.
Right,
Right?
definitely.
It'll always stay with me. Whatever I learned that time. Of course, if I don't upgrade myself, I'll stay there only. But at least jo seekha hai, wo kabhi nahi jayega.
Correct.
But trying something new, so what I did is I always did a risk analysis, that how well is this going with what I have done before, and it was going pretty well.
Okay.
Having the technical knowledge helped me design things which were technically feasible, which is very important in UX today. Even the courses, even the universities who are introducing UX, they're also teaching software engineering, and they're also teaching about IT, about information technology, because we are going to design for the digital world. We should know these technologies. That it's just like, if you know about the resources, then you'll be able to give great solutions, right? When you know this is possible. If you
Definitely.
would not know, then you would just say 100 things, out of which maybe 90 are just like even not possible because you don't have the resources. So I think, yeah, coming back to the question, that what was that feeling was definitely that coding is not for me. It doesn't come naturally to me. It is something that I have to really, 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 really work on. I have to work on UX also, nothing, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy learning about it, and I feel confident about it.
Correct.
So if
And
you
I
feel,
can vouch that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so Right. So if someone is really new to it, go through today there is so much of information. Just take one article, go through it. And if you're able to resonate with it, that, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yes, this resonates with me. I think even I have an eye for UX, or even I
Mm-hmm.
have something for UX and I will enjoy this. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Makes more sense. So basically, I would say it's a similar story in some way. I was also into software development. I still like coding, but that was not resonating well with me. So I shifted towards product management, and it's been fun job. It's been enjoyment in itself. I have been aligned at multiple levels. What I wanted to do basically have been on my list, total responsibility areas. So it has been great for me, and I think it's the best idea. So do your own research, read about some articles, watch some YouTube videos. You have so much of things right now available for you. Make your own research and think if just getting a good read at it makes you more interested into it, resonate with you well, you should pursue it. No matter what you end up doing, it's a success or failure. It doesn't matter in the start, at least. Uh, yeah. So uh, I understand what was that idea, but let's say consider a person who has done all these courses and what have been so far, like what would be, I would say, typical responsibilities or roles look like, what would be day-to-day job look like for a UX designer.
Right. So first of all, generally it is understanding the requirements, especially when you're working for a product-based company, or even if you're working for a service-based company, whatever is so the major difference between these two is that in a product-based company, you will be working for a product. The product won't change. The product will remain same. So once you've gained the knowledge about the product,
Mm-hmm.
that's like, yes, of course you'll keep updating yourself with the different things happening with the product,
Mm-hmm.
but it won't be a different product suddenly, right? But in
Mm-hmm.
a service company, you will have different opportunities. Like sometimes you're working on a project where there's a redesign of a banking website. Sometimes you're working on a project where there's a complete new product that they are designing, and they're designing it for a media and advertising firm.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you have very small time in a service based company to understand what is the requirement. You're not associated with one product.
Right.
You are in the same organization, you're working for different projects, different
Mm-hmm.
products. In a product based company, you are associated to one product, and in that product there are different stories, different requirements, different new things
Mm-hmm.
coming up.
Right.
Interface, the presentation part, the UI part kind of
Mm-hmm.
remains the same. You
Mm-hmm.
have usually you have a UI team with you.
Okay.
They working on the design system.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not there, as a UX designer, you should either ask for a resource, or
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to, but basically able to do the UI as well, the design
Okay.
system. Now the
Mm-hmm.
thing starts with the research. The first step is the research part. You should be
Mm-hmm.
able to understand what is the problem that you're solving in a product, or
Right.
for anything you're designing. Be it a digital product, be it be a physical product. But since we are talking more about user experience design in terms of digital products, I'll stick to that. So research, you should be able to know different methods, quantitative, qualitative. You might get opportunities to do research being a UX designer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Although these days there are special roles as a user researcher, person who does just the research part. So
Mm-hmm.
as a UX designer, you can just get in touch with the research specialist in the team,
Mm-hmm.
and they give you all the research insights. On the basis of that, you move ahead with your next step.
Okay.
But UX designer should know research as well.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from research, we get into a more detailing of, in the research only you have the personas, and you have different story, scenario analysis, task analysis. After that, you do once you've defined the problem statement, that okay, this is what you're going to solve, you have to get in touch with different people working for the product owners, product managers, the development leads, the
Mm-hmm.
QA leads, um, and research specialists, content specialists, sometimes they call it content strategist also. UI team. So you have to get in touch with everyone. It's just like that member of the family that keeps the family together, and the family progresses. So similarly, the UX person has to be involved with all these people. That okay, it's just like the product manager, right? The product manager has to be associated with everyone. So
Right.
basically, the most amount of interaction that a UX designer has is with the product manager. You have to be in sync with that person. Every day there's a catch up with the product manager, that this is what we're doing, this is the problem, okay, what happened about that, this is what we're thinking. So you have to create there's a lot of you have to be very good with personas. You have to be very good with questions that you're asking. You should be very good with analyzing what insights you've got. You should be very good in communicating with different teams, understanding what are the constraints, technical or legal constraints, understanding the marketing and branding goals, strategizing the entire design. That is basically what we do. And then, of course, wireframing is something by default that we do. You should know at least one tool. I would say, so I used to love Adobe XD, but now that it's not free, I guess there are certain limitations to it. I would suggest Figma because it's absolutely free of cost. A lot of times what happens, people who are just starting UX, they think, I don't have the tool, so I can't do anything. Don't think that. Adobe XD is free of cost, cloud-based है. And for that, you can refer to YouTube, because every tool has a great amount of learning out there on YouTube, and very nicely described. There you won't be misguided. It's happening right in front of you. If you have to create something, it's happening there, and just try it. So know one tool at least. If you know one tool, other tools are very similar. Anytime you can learn another tool as per the organization. Different organizations have different tools that they use. Some use InVision, some use Sketch, some use Figma, some use Adobe XD. I think Figma has gained a lot of popularity. Even UX Pin is gaining a lot of popularity. Earlier, UX Pin was, today it is, you have to purchase it. But never feel scared of that. They're using this tool. It's okay. If you know one tool, the other tool will not take you more than a week to get hands on. So I would suggest that one tool you should be very good at. That, okay, I know everything about the tool, mostly. Wireframing, prototyping, how do you link different screens, creating presentations of your ideas, able to express what you have, why you have done something. UX is all about why have you done this, how is this going to help the user, who are the users. All that kind of knowledge you should be very sure of, you should be very confident of. And also you should be able to stand for your design. Whatever you've designed, people will be like, oh, no, I don't want this. There'll be sometimes people who are doing certain things since a long time and it's working for them.
Okay.
So if you want to change that, you should be able to give them a reason that see, if we go with this is what will happen. This will be the impact. But if we go with this is the impact, and this can be really great for the product. Sometimes it could be matrix. You also have to be very good with understanding the matrix, number of clicks, or the usability criteria, the conversion rate, all these things, and UX terminologies. You should read articles. You should listen to people who are explaining their design, so that when you are doing it, you know what is a primary navigation, you know what's a fab button, you know what's a false bottom. You can just use these words to describe something very efficiently.
Okay.
So I think that's all basically what a UX designer does. So there's a lot of communication that happens, a lot of meetings, a lot of discussions, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of activities that we have to do. So a UX designer I think, should not be someone who's very quiet and doesn't talk much. You should at least be able to express what you are designing and communicate it with different people. I think no one in this industry, when you're working, you cannot just be quiet. You have to really communicate a lot.
Right.
So that's a little bit about what basically a UX designer does in different organizations. In startups also, it's basically a product only. Just that maybe culture will be a little different. the way they work, the way things are happening, but the product knowledge association with the product will be kind of the same in the product company. So that
Yeah.
is about service, product, and startup.
Mhm.
And but your responsibilities will remain the same.
Okay. Yeah, so beautifully explained everything. And I think uh, the first differentiation you mentioned between a product based and a service based is it's best. So basically, in the product base, it's evolving. You have announcements, but the product remains same, the domain remains same. But in service based, your domain keeps on changing. Your service, like as in domain, as a product, also keeps changing. There are different clients you want to handle. So there is no one single commodity you have to develop. You have to keep on evolving yourself with the perspective of the client itself. Uh, but it makes all sense that you have to be very expressive about what your feelings, what your thought process is, what do you think about users, and how the journey looks like for the person, and how you can optimize that in the best possible way so that it's more seamless and hurdle free for the user to interact with whatever the product you're working on.
So with this we come to the end of the video of part 1 with Saumya. हमने आज काफ़ी कुछ जाना कि what she was able to do, how she moved from front end development towards UX designing, what makes like how can you be aligned towards UX designing, what was that one thing that makes more relatable towards UX designing as in general, what do you mean by UX designer, what are day-to-day jobs and responsibilities. And stay tuned for the next part of this video. We will get to know about typical interview process, how to make your online portfolio, and all such different details about the interview. What are the different questions asked in an interview? What can you expect for a UX designer, and how to scale in this stream. So stay tuned for that. And अगर ये वीडियो आपको अच्छा लगा, प्लीज़ लाइक एंड शेयर दिस वीडियो. एंड अभी तक अगर इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं करा तो यार दोस्तों चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें एंड हिट द लाइक बेल बटन डाउन देयर so that you get the notification whenever I put a new video. And I hope आप ऐसे ही इस चैनल के साथ बने रहेंगे and we will get a lot more videos on this channel. And please put in comments below what else you want to know on this channel. So with that, I take leave. Bye bye. So guys, what is Newton School? Newton School एक edtech startup है जहाँ पे you can learn more about different technologies out there. They will help you get job offers from these top tech companies. एंड उनका एक बहुत ही अच्छा प्रोग्राम है जहाँ पे आपको ₹1 भी पे नहीं करना है जब तक आपके इन कंपनीज में जॉब नहीं लग जाता. दे हैव वेरी गुड ऑफरिंग्स विद दिस कोर्स, लाइव क्लासेस, इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोजेक्ट्स, मॉक इंटरव्यूज एंड पर्सनल मेंटरिंग. I will put the link in the description and I suggest you all to check this out and explore their courses.